here we go. Right, so, firstly, historic, all right? So, Uxbridge and South Ruislip was Boris Johnson's seat, and you will see here that throughout, ever since the 80s, the Conservatives never lost it, even in the Blair years, which shows you how strong it was, and more than half the vote to Boris Johnson in the last general election, which was obviously a Conservative majority of 80. So in terms of that hard seat to lose, they nearly lost it. Selby and Ainsley a bit different. I mean, here, massive majority. This is classic red wall, isn't it? Conservatives, 60%. So they took it, and Labour would need nearly 18% swing, but they got that. We'll come to the actual result in a moment. So the Conservatives were miles ahead at the last election. They lost it. The third one, it was a scandal that brought down this MP, Neil Warburton, Somerton and Frome. And again, you know, you just can't believe... Normally, you wouldn't make up that gap in a single election, Conservative to Lib Dem. 15% swing needed. Right, so let's show you what actually happened here. So we go then to these three results. And you can see how tight this was in Uxbridge and South Ruislip, with the Conservatives just beating Danny Beales. And as Angela says, maybe it is this traffic zone, the ULEZ, the changing people's cars and so on, that have caused all the trouble. So the Conservatives held on to that because it's a Labour mayor who's doing the ULEZ. Selby and Ainsley, very different, 46% to the Labour Party, and a big old swing there, 27% roughly. And Somerton and Frome, even bigger, 55% to the Lib Dems, which is getting on for a 30% swing. Now, there have been bigger swings, all right? So these are the swings, 29%, 23.7, 6.7. Completely different level of result, isn't it, in Uxbridge and South Ruislip? They're actually stronger in London, the Conservatives, than you might think. So, 29% swing. Everyone going, oh my goodness, we never get those swings. Actually, you do. If you look back, we'll just go here. These are the biggest by-election swings. And I'm just going to show you this one, this record breaker. If you remember when John Major took over from Thatcher in 1990 and then he won the election in 92, pretty soon he had all problems over Maastricht and rebellions and whatnot. And Major got into terrible trouble. And this was actually just before Blair came in. John Smith was Labour leader, 35.5% swing in Christchurch. You then had the scandal that brought down Owen Paterson, 34% swing there. This one again, Dudley West, was Blair. Newbury, again, was pre-Blair. So you're seeing, I suppose what we're looking at here is the canary in the coal mine. If you're a Conservative, Shazia, it's like, oh my goodness, we are rerunning the pre-Blair moment. And the Blair moment in 97 gave Labour a massive majority. Maybe this is it. Maybe they've just had enough. Maybe the pandemic was just too much. Boris did too much partying, you know, people dying, and maybe this is the thing that's going to get them. I suppose the big difference is that Starmer is not Blair.
I think that's a massive, massive difference. Blair had a kind of showbiz, glittering persona. He wooed all sorts of people who had been over on the other side by promising new Labour, something that was refreshing, a completely different direction. Starmer, he flip-flops, he U-turns, he won't commit to saying whether a woman is really a woman. He'll say that we're going to pay you tuition fees, then we're not. We're going to have a huge green agenda, then we're not. And I think, if anything, that the comparison is completely erroneous, precisely because if we're looking at personality politics, they're on different planets, completely different planets, Blair and Starmer. Something great about by-elections, the whole system is so much fun, isn't it? It is. Just because it gives you a little moment, it's like in the middle of the night when you go to the bathroom, you put the bathroom light on, you just get a moment of light, and it shines the whole... That's what is my, and then it goes off again. And you think, well, what was that? You think just a momentary illumination. This might be the moment that everything changed? Well, yeah, I don't know. But we are used to crazy by-election results, and maybe these are just more crazy ones. And also, I love the whole physicality of the counting. As a young reporter on local newspapers, I went to a couple of these. You go to the local count, and they're literally, it's not done with smoke and mirrors. And you see how close to the wire it is. I mean, they had to recount the Ruislip one, I think, once or maybe even twice, because there were only 500 votes between us. Yeah. All right, after the break on last night's by-election results, do they signal the end for the Conservatives?